134 or Jake Lava, whichever you prefer, and welcome to Minecraft. Now, if you're wondering why this is a little bit quicker than normal when I say, like, intros and everything, is surprisingly I remembered it right away. And secondly, I've been busy. I've been listening to a lot of music right now, and if you can't tell, that's a piece of it, but let me take off this. This is a survival world. We're doing pretty much everything legitly, but I just decided, you know what? I want to make a nice little home for Little Bear and myself since we were playing together. So, Little Bear, if you do see this at some point tomorrow, because you probably got curious as to what this is referring to, well, you remember the world. This is a part of what I'm going to be doing. This is a part of a plan, but I made us a little farm section, and if you notice, I'm trying to keep a lot of things to my left or right out of view. Just in general behind me out of view for two reasons. One, I did a lot of work kind of on our house, just a little bit, and secondly, I decided to build a couple different things, which I'm still going to be building most of the stream because, why not? Plus, this is more so just like a Q&A or just a kind of an updated situation on where I've been or what's going on or what I'll be planning to do soon. Um, I'm going to try to re-download Modern Warfare for sure. If you guys want to see some Cold War content, let me know. Stuff like that, simple, basic crap like that. But most importantly, um, I guess just kind of what do you guys want to see from me? Do you guys have any expectations that, of course, aren't super high that you would like for me to do performance-wise? Simple stuff like that. So this is kind of a Q&A and to kind of see what people want from me more. Do you like our messed up humor more? Do you want it to be like dialed back but still pretty messed up? Kind of stuff, simple stuff like that. Because I kind of want to get an idea on what you guys want more than anything. Um, so to start it, I'm just going to do this so you guys can see what some of the stuff is from the lower section. You won't be able to see everything, but it'll give you an idea on what we're doing. Now that you've seen that, now it's time for the big reveal. I'm going to have to go out for a little bit for this. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn around and you guys will see what I've been doing. Now, a lot of it, Little Bear did help me with. Ignore the floating island thing. I'm going to remove that pretty shortly, probably. But if you notice, we have a giant tree, which we took when we were way over there. If you look on our map, you could see we're way out of here. But I intend to do some stuff over here, maybe a little over there, and I intend to make a couple different bridges. But if you do see that big building, please ignore that for the time being. For right now, let's simply show off the miniature house, which isn't done, and I have some stuff I want to do for it, but I made these nice walkways. I do have some stuff I need to fix, but that's pretty much it. So we go inside, and what the heck? What is it with me and missing plates and stuff? Anyway, so right now, like I said, I have a lot of work to do still, but for right now, this is kind of what we're dealing with. And I know these woods don't match. They probably don't work together, but they work as long as you have a good environment to make it work. And I've kind of managed to do that. This Little Bear, if you do see this is going to be kind of important for you later. I'll be working on this tonight. So if you don't want spoilers, Little Bear, I recommend you leave the video whenever you do see this. And I'm saying this ahead of time if everyone's going to question, but Jake, he isn't even here, or hey Jake, you're crazy. Well, firstly, you're not wrong. I am a little bit nuts at times. And secondly, shut your mouth, nobody asked. And most important to this is the reason I'm doing it is because, again, Little Bear and I have been having a lot of fun lately. If you guys haven't seen, we've been doing a lot of videos specifically with each other, mostly on Cold War. If you guys don't know what we're talking or don't know what I'm talking about, please go look at his channel. Literally look back on any other video that I've made recently and you'll be able to know exactly who he is. But for some reason, a bit of a perfectionist came out in me. Okay, my controller's just being stupid for a second. But, yeah. So, after that, I'm gonna show you this. I still need to put stairs on this, but essentially, you're gonna go up these stairs, and this will lead you to this small, like, little temple region, which I know, a bit excessive. This is just for right now. I made it look as good as I could, and I couldn't put a full-on roof, so this is kind of the final result here. And there is going to be more kind of branching off that way at some point, but for right now, this was just kind of a little idea I came up with when I was listening to music. I was like, oh, what would be really cool having a nice little temple whilst, going elsewhere. So that way we have a nice stairway. We don't need to parkour our way up here or anything. Just made a nice little stairway with a nice little bit of protection since for some reason this place rains a lot, and you'll probably see it a good couple times throughout the video, which for right now, ignore, please. We're like right next to this, the ice biome, but it rains all the time over here. And if you notice, I'm just letting it fall. I'm not too worried about damaging any of the structures or anything, and honestly, I don't care enough. Plus, looks like it's gonna melt anyway. I'm gonna break it so I don't have to throw a bunch of balls around, but yeah, so just kind of miniature stuff. Now, I do remember a long time ago, back when I was like, what was it, like not even 100, I think it was at like 50 during this time when it came to subs. And if you guys are trying to understand when I say that, is because there's a couple reasons why I'm doing this specific style of bridge. Originally, I had a different idea, but this kind of ended up being a permanent idea in my mind recently. So, essentially, a while back, like a long while back, when I think it was like 50 subs, I want to say. I don't actually remember. Here, I'll just pull up the video. Because this is one of my most popular videos, so if you guys want to understand this better, because I suck at explaining things, I recommend you go to my channel whenever you get an opportunity, maybe after this video or whenever you want to, and I want you to very specifically, if you can, sort it by most popular when you're at my video area. So when you sort by most popular, it should be the Minecraft featuring Saywen. Now, for those of you who are veterans of my channel, you guys shouldn't remember who Saywen is. This is also around the time where Minecraft was in that early stage of battle mode, but not exactly a battle mode in general. This is also under my first most popular video, which had 400 more subs than 400 more viewers than I thought it would have had, is the World War II Zombies Awesomeness, which is when I was really sucky at this and all that. This was still around the time I was playing BO3. But very specifically, that was the video my dad played in. But Minecraft featuring Saywen, we lived in this big swamp area, or an area right next to a swamp that we used. And we had farms, we had an underground home, which is kind of the case here, except we actually found a natural cave and kind of dug it out. And this was around the time I met Little Bear, just a little bit before that, something along that line. And during this video, at some point in the live chat, I had around, let's see, what did I have? Around 12 to 15 people at one point, and it was about, what was it? I can't even remember what time it was. And I posted that video back in 2017 in December 22nd, which was very much chaotic. And that was probably one of my best videos when it came to views, because around 100, but the other one was, World War II when my dad was playing, which was unique. So if you guys would like to see content with my dad more, why don't you just let me know? Because I get a lot of people apparently liked that video, which was, it could have just been, build up from views or anything, but I do want to know. Like, I'm genuinely curious, and if you guys are like, oh, but you're probably going to use this for money, well, you're absolutely wrong. YouTube is kind of trash when it comes to money nowadays, and someone will probably say otherwise, but let me tell you, I've been looking at how many people have been stepping over mines just to do this kind of stuff, and it disappoints me. So, honestly, I don't care about the pay, especially because where I live, I get about $11.10 per hour, or if I get a good night shift job, specifically for night shelf stalkers, about $15 per hour, and that's just for a part-time job, not even a full-time. So that goes to show exactly why I don't care about YouTube, because I could be earning around, what is it, $500 a week, if I remember correctly. Now, this isn't just factual parts for me, but this is actually stuff that, we've been looking up and everything. So, it's not something that I'm bragging about. I'm just being genuine with you guys. I don't care about the money at this point. It's useless. And even then, I lost interest in the whole money situation way back when. So it should go to show that I really just don't care about the popularity scenario. I care more about how my viewers think of my channel. I understand some people are more sensitive than others, and I will more than often not call them a snowflake from now on, but there's good reason for that, because, you know, we aren't weak-minded people. We understand our place. So should you, but no one really cares. We don't get political on this channel if people are going to question that ahead of time. I'm just going to say that. Because we don't care about politics. We don't find a point in it. Don't bring in any political view that includes Black Lives Matters, and I'm not saying that because I'm racist. I'm saying that because I'm fed up with people. Same thing with like RIP XXX. Listen, that happened a couple years ago. You need to get over it. Doesn't matter if it happened last year or the year before that. Just get over it. You're grown up. Or at least you should have been grown up. You probably lost all your brain cells worrying about that crap. Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. Like, that's just a simple way to put it. Just all lives matter. If you're gonna really look at a specific race, then that itself is technically racist. Like, I'm gonna put a really bad example out, and it's probably gonna get a lot of people irritated, but the KKK, for example, they only cared about white. Those were white supremacists. That was racist. Because they only cared about white people. But in all reality, they were just as stupid as people nowadays with the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Again, all lives matter. It doesn't matter if you're white or black. Either way, stupid is stupid. Don't be stupid. So if you're going to support these kind of groups, first understand all lives matter. It's not just, you know, a single part of it. So to put it simply, if you're going to bring in a political view, we're going to ignore it or just tell you, hey, you're stupid for believing that only one race should actually matter. Like, we don't care. We'll speak it as it is. And if that hurts your feelings, well, don't be a little snowflake. Just simple as that. So ahead of time, I'm not racist. I'm just true. And I've already had that situation happen before where someone did call me racist because I did say, don't be advertising that BS on here because nobody here really cares. All lives matter in perspective. They immediately called me racist and left. And I, of course, didn't care, but I did say that guy was stupid. So if that guy is still on my channel today, probably trying to find some dirt on me, firstly, you should really learn how to advertise better or just ask before you say something, and I wouldn't have been so harsh. Secondly, you really need to learn that all lives matter. It doesn't matter who you think you are or what you think you are. You're not wearing the pants around here. No one here is. Other than that, because here's the thing, if someone's gonna say you wouldn't know you're not black, you're right, I'm not black, but I have black friends, and they agree. It's just straight up stupidity. It's not the fact that it's not the fact that only black lives matter. All lives matter. It just depends on who the idiot is. You know, if you're gonna do something stupid, it's not because of your race that you got caught, it's because of the fact that you got caught doing it, and you don't agree with the fact that you got caught. So the best way to think about this is to just not. Just shut up. Nobody cared, nobody asked. The only people who cared or asked are the people who can't mind their own business. And, you know, again, I don't care about the whole political view of it, but it doesn't matter. If you're only doing it to, you know, make an act, it's stupid. It's a waste of other people's time. If you want to waste people's time and you want to be a dick, do it in other ways. Like, I'm a dick all the time, and I'm always on the internet, which goes to show exactly what you need to be a dick. Literally just go on the internet and be better than everyone, and when they say you're absolute trash, just say, then why are you, you know, the bottom of the leaderboard? It kind of shows people up. Now, I have plenty of prime examples of this on Siege. I actually play Siege quite a bit. I enjoy the game. I absolutely don't mind when people talk smack because it doesn't hurt my feelings because I'm not a snowflake. But a lot of people tend to find the fact that, you know, if you say I'm not going to 1v1 you, that you're an absolute trash player or that you're, you know, afraid or something. And that is a genuine situation I've had. I just say I don't waste my time with cocky kids because they're absolute trash 70% of the time. Now, I'm sure it's going to trigger a lot of people considering, you know, the fact that I literally just called you out on it, but you gotta understand, it doesn't matter your perspective. As long as your sportsmanship, yeah, I'll absolutely 1v1 you. But if you're gonna be a piece of crap, and then when you hear that, say, oh, uh, my bad, good game, yeah, then I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm just gonna ignore the fact that you acknowledged it, because it doesn't matter to me. A piece of crap is a piece of crap. Deal with it. So, again, this comes into perspective. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter what you think. You should always learn to be respectful. Like, I'm pretty sure like 70% of people here don't even know me on this channel. And if they do know me, well, congratulations. You understand my perspectives are harsh, but they have good intent. In some way, I should say. And that's kind of how I think, the world is, which is why if people curious as to like, you're human too, when I say I hate the human race, well, I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. In a way, I'm really not. I don't consider myself human because I don't have stupid ideology. When I say I have an ideal about something, that goes to show exactly what we are. So, like, I agree. All lives matter, but black lives in specific is not something I can agree with because that's only being selective. So before people are like, oh, hashtag Black Lives Matter, you're talking about it. Firstly, don't put me on that group because I would absolutely roast them. Again, I don't care if you're black or white, your life matters. Equally to how you're only choosing one race. You're pretty much just pulling a whole KKK thing. Like, only white people matter is pretty much what you're saying. But in the way of black. So, only black lives matter. So, I just want to let you know, I again don't care your perspective. You can have your own opinion, but as soon as you try to advertise it and make it seem like you're trying to be a good person, but very clearly you fail at doing that, you're not going to earn any amount of respect from me. You don't earn respect from me like that. The way you earn respect from me is just be a person. Be a thoughtful person, and I won't have to tell you out on it. So, for future viewers, if you do decide to come into one of my streams one day and just talk smack, expect me to bite back and my venom is volatile. You want to come and advertise something about, like, Black Lives Matters or something political, more often than not, we will tell you, we do not care for politics. Please refrain from talking politics. Our channel is based on funnies. We do make a lot of political jokes, Hitler jokes and stuff as such, which, yes, is political because he had political views. But we don't care for politics. We actually make fun of politicians all the time. We'll be playing Call of Duty and we're straight up making fun of like Donald Trump or something. Now that's hilarious. Because let me tell you, there's some good jokes based on him. But you also have to remember, I'm 18. So within reason, I know who we're talking about. I just don't care. Almost equivalent to how, like, if you want to talk smack, okay, that's not my problem. I'm actually genuinely not going to care because it's not my problem that you're a dumb person. Which, again, I try to be as honest as I can with my channel. So, again, I don't really care your perspective, just don't try to act like you know something when very clearly you're disrespecting your own type. And it is something I hear quite a bit, even just in normal games we'll be talking and some guy in the background, we just know it, they're talking smack. And it's easy, so before people are like, oh, racist, I can hear your typing already. Like, it hasn't even happened yet, and I can hear it. It goes to show you how I know people. So, I trust my channel as much as I trust my friends. But I wouldn't trust you as if, to me, you're not my best friend. You're just a bunch of people on the internet that enjoy content from me. So out of the mutual agreement, I try not to talk about politics. I try not to bring myself into any situation where people are going to absolutely try to be a dick about something. So to put it simply, I'm a man of my word as best as I can, or if I don't get to something, I make sure to explain myself. For example, I was going to stream Call of Duty today, but I didn't feel it. But right now, I just kind of felt like I needed to stream a little bit, for some unknown reason. Maybe specifically because people might be concerned, or maybe because there's some things I should get used to again. But don't expect a lot of content from me is my first immediate stance, is don't expect something from me. If you expect something from me, you put standards too high and I will not go through with it. It's similar to how if you suggest something, I'm going to ignore that suggestion a lot of time, and before somebody's like, but that's the opposite of a suggestion, that's the point. Yes, I will say, hey, what do you want to see from me? And I will use these suggestions because it's criticism that I need. And this will also help me help Little Bear. You know, because Little Bear has been having a hard time. He's been streaming for about 4 years. He opened his channel in 2016. My channel is a year older. And honestly, I kind of want to help him. He's one of my best friends, and I would absolutely do everything with him, if you haven't noticed already. So it's something I would like to help and prove a point about, is I'm a normal human being in a way, but the way I consider myself is I'm not human because I'm well beyond a human. I'm thoughtful, I'm kind, and I don't just trash talk somebody because, you know, they said something stupid. I don't just say stupid things to be stupid. I say stupid things as a joke. So, again, it doesn't matter your perspective, it depends on how you go about announcing your perspective. Which is where, like, I know a lot of people are going to start disagreeing with me. A lot of people are going to start talking smack, or they're going to think about it. Again, I could hear you typing. But it's something that I've gotten used to. Like, I can tell you, I've been called at least once everything in the Urban Dictionary, and I've said this plenty of times on my channel. It doesn't hurt my feelings because I'm not a snowflake. I don't get butthurt when someone tells me and puts me in my place. The only reason that hurts is when I know there's something wrong with that statement. So if you would like to prove my statement wrong and then say, I told you I'm not a bad person, or I told you I understand your predicament, I just don't agree with it. Okay, then you're more man or woman than most people. A lot of people hate being told they're wrong. It doesn't matter when you were born or why you were born. It just kind of matters on your politeness. So you'll understand, like, I'm not a very mean person. I'm mean on the internet because it's good content. And it really is. I enjoy the sound of raging people. So for me, that is an absolute content creation. And I would post a video almost every day if I could of just people getting angry at me for some of the stupidest of things, if I could. But on top of that, I would have to be in game chat. And me being the antisocial person I am, I don't really care for that. And you guys are like, I'm sure someone in the comments at some point is going to go, but wait, you just said you were antisocial, so why are you talking to us? Or why do you have friends? Well, antisocials just don't like having a lot of friends. Like, I have plenty of antisocial friends, and they all agree. They don't like having too many people with their conversations and such, because it's just something that they don't enjoy. So to put it into proper words is we just don't like having too many people. We're fine with having conversations with other people, we just don't like to. We prefer to keep to ourselves and ignore others unless we have to talk to them. And I, out of everyone, would respect that, because I myself am antisocial in a good majority of a way. And a lot of people may doubt that, knowing that I literally just openly admit to it, since a lot of people don't say that willingly. Well, it's absolute true, you know, like, that's not something I would make up. And if you look back on any of my channels, you will see that I do eventually try to do something to factor in for the fact that I missed something, or something along that line. Like, I may be late to the party, but it's better than nothing at all, right? So, the best way to think about my channel is just that, I do my best, I do what I can, I don't always have money yet, but eventually that will be something I fix. It just takes time. So, it's kind of one of those predicaments where I have to try to explain myself to a lot of people that I do get that moment of, oh crap, well, my channel is just absolute chaos. And it is true, my channel is chaos. But the chaos could be a good or a bad at any given time of any given month. So it's just kind of a predicament of I have to listen to these people, but they also have to try to listen to me. And that's not an easy thing to pull. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Well, listen, but do you truly mean that?" And I'm sure someone's going to say, "Yeah, absolutely." But again, you have to think before you speak, because really a lot of people don't mean that. You know, like I used to have a good majority of friends, but they weren't friends. They were false friends, and those did cause a little bit of strain on me. But that's not something you want to get into, you know? So, I ask, if you're gonna comment, at least be genuine or be smarter than others. Because I know a lot of people who would take up that opportunity just so they could trash talk. Well, unlike you, person that I know is gonna end up doing that at some given point in time, whether that be now or some other day, you have to understand we're all trying to make you guys have a good time, especially nowadays. Times are tough nowadays. But we try to make we try to make the best of it. We're not just talking to talk. We're not just making content because of money. There are other perfectly good reasons for that. And in all reality, I don't do it for the money. Originally, that was going to be the plan. I knew you could earn a lot of money being a YouTuber, but that's until recent that I realized it's not really a good job. That's more like a hobby of sorts. And, you know, of course that did put me in a weird mental state where I'm like, oh, well, unfortunately, I can't do this as a good full-time job, which I know a lot of people do, but again, it's never really a full-time job. They set schedule as well as having a normal job. So it's something that, you know, I do acknowledge, and a lot of people should, is you should know when content is being, you know, outdated, like Minecraft. Logically speaking, people think this game is outdated because, you know, 2011. But in all reality, it's really not. Like, it's not all as outdated as people want to make it out to be. Because this game is one of those few immortal games that a lot of people can overestimate or underestimate. So, for example, I've heard this plenty of times that this is just a child's game and a real guy shouldn't be playing it. Well, for your information, whomever really has that opinion, firstly, that's severely incorrect. Even my dad has played this, and you guys have seen my dad on my channel a couple times, ladies and gentlemen. So it's one of those predicaments where it's not just for kids, it's for anyone. Almost equivalent to how, you know, honey buns, sweets, you know, candy stores, stuff like that. Those are all things that child would love, you know? And let me tell you, I've seen my dad go to them a couple times when I was younger. He still does sometimes. I've seen my dad, you know, enjoy an arcade a couple times. It may have been a long time ago, but regardless, he did it. So, before you start going super judgment on me, it's best to state now that I don't care. Let's just get that through your little puny brains if you think that I'm going to be insulted. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I've heard worse. Trust me, I've had my own siblings make me cry, mainly due to something they've said. But that was because it genuinely hurt my feelings. But again, unlike you, I'm not a snowflake. It doesn't hurt my feelings to insult me. It honestly just makes yourself look more foolish. If you've asked any of my friends, they've tried insulting me. It doesn't work. I've had people who are absolutely new say something really insulting to me, and I'm like, you're cute. That's disrespectful, but it doesn't hurt my feelings because I'm not a snowflake. They of course get really defensive right away, but my stance stays the same. I'm not gonna back down from that statement because clearly you're angry because you're not as good as me, or you're not as good as you want to be. And I've had plenty of people, especially on some other apps. There was an entire thing about certain games that we were playing on there, and some guy, for some reason, had the audacity to go, If you're having a problems with these games, you should just quit. Which is the worst type of person. And then he tried to back down. He kept doubling down, and then as soon as I counter-argument his statement, he immediately, like, he backed up from that, and he eventually stopped. But I did give him paragraphs of sentence, which I know I'm gonna hear, like, that's a female thing to do. Shut your mouth. Females don't only do that. Some people do that too. But, it really, like, that really made me irritated because I hear people do that all the time. If you're not good at a game, just stop. Just quit. You're never gonna be good. That is the worst type of person. You know what kind of people do those? The only people who do that kind of stuff are the people who themselves have more problems than anyone else. I myself have self-esteem issues in some ways, but I'm not gonna openly insult a person because they're not good at a game. I will honestly tell them how to get better. You're having problems with campers. Try more explosives. Try learning how to understand that per your death, you're just showing how a person works. So, just so everyone is on the same page, here's how I play when a sniper 1v1. If I die, I look on how they move with the kill cam sometimes. It may not be much, but I still use that to my advantage. If, let's say, you know, it's a friendly 1v1 and it's not someone I know, but I've played with plenty of times. Every time I play with them, I watch how they maneuver, I watch how they think, and I see how they find themselves in a pattern. Because the more patterns you find on people, the more they can consistently try to change. So for example, I will always at the beginning stay to one location at a time. I'll pick this location for a couple deaths, and I'll pick this location for a couple deaths. If you're still in the same location per those times, more often than not, I will always find a way to make it worse on you. So, for example, I had a friend back in Call of Duty Ghosts who was an absolute shadow. You couldn't tell where he was going to be because he consistently moved, which was one of the best strategies I've ever seen on a person. So seeing that, that was around the time that I realized my strategies are flawed because I'm sticking to only these locations. And they're quite consistent, but in any other game mode, hardcore TDM, core TDM, all that, even with your radars, you understand that I'm there, but you're not gonna see me right away. So the way I notice people are nowadays is from a simple pattern. They see something on the news, but they don't do any of the research and immediately make themselves look foolish. That is something I'll deal with, because it's something only a dumb person would do. If you're gonna be stupid on your own time. But if that means insulting other people and all this and that, you're no better than anyone. You're literally no better than not one single person in the world. You're probably about the same level that... God, I don't even know how to put you. I don't even know where to put you, is how low a life you are. Because you have to remember, people who do content creation is not just a normal person. We're not going to bow down to your will if you're going to be an absolute dick, you know? So the best way to think about it is, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to prove my point. If you want to talk smack, I will talk back. You want to act tough, so can I, buddy. You're not the only kid like that. And I find a lot of people who are like, I'll DDoS you then. Okay, so you're saying you want to do something fairly illegal just to make yourself look good? It goes to show what I know about people. So, in order to fight in an argument, you have to have munition. And I consistently know about current events and why they happen, and I watch a lot of other YouTubers who have similar opinions. Of course, it's not going to be a predicament of, oh yeah, no, let me just 100% talk smack to these people. It's a predicament of self-respect at that point. I watch them so I understand, but other people won't really watch it, or if they do, they seem to think he's lying, or she's lying, or something along those lines. And then again, you guys don't pay attention. Are they the reason you're losing your mind, or is it other people? More often than not, you'd be surprised. That statement is widely vast. So again, I do have personal opinions, as do we all, but the way I depict them is different. You want to show that you're correct, but more often than not, you choose the wrong side. So again, out of mutual respect, I don't just say, you're absolutely wrong. I say, you need to do your research more, because that isn't a true statement. So like, your gun law thing. Now this is going to be a political conversation for a second, but I'm going to prove my statement with this. Because it's a good example. Gun law. They think that no one should have guns because a couple people do bad things. Well then, maybe just put further restrictions, like maybe a different age group. The reason kids can get hold of guns is because people don't do safety measures. The reason people don't do smart things is because they're either, mistreated, or they're just dumb in general, mental health issues. But that's not a reason to take everyone's firearm, because guess what happens when you do that? Crime rate only goes up. And that's not an opinion, that would have been proven. And there are people who have sat down and said, alright, so here's what would happen if this happens. Firstly, people are going to immediately buy all they can and try to hide it as best they can. And they go all out into it. So out of respect, I'm like, okay, so these guys have run essentially a simulation of it. When you tell someone not to do something, they're gonna do it. Don't push that red button. For example, I will do this as a little experiment. Do not try to insult me. Now I know, again, I said it doesn't hurt my feelings, but this goes to show exactly when you say don't do something. So for example, I've one time told my friend, don't touch this, and he of course did. Of course that was irritating because I've been working on it for, who knows how long. But it shows exactly what a person's mind state is going to be. They don't really care about the repercussions. They only care if it's funny. So for what I do on YouTube, it seems like I seem like a bad person because of what I do, and my training methods do seem a bit harsh. Because I've had people go, okay, how are you so good at snipers? And if you're willing, could you teach me how to be good with snipers? My immediate response is, okay. Firstly, let's go into a 1v1. I'll see how you act, or I'll see how you play, and then I'll give you suggestions based off of that. Now, at first, you're going to question, why would you do the 1v1 first? Well, of course, to see where you are in that spectrum. So, much like how people are like, oh, well, your prestige means how good you are, your weaponry is how good you are. No, not necessarily. It's how you use it. Like, if I saw you camping with the Finn LMG on Cold War, or not Cold War, Modern Warfare, let's say I do catch someone doing that, but they're also doing it with, like, a sniper scope, or, something that gives them a disadvantage. Okay, I commend you. I don't like what you're doing, but I commend you. Because that kind of stuff is not easy, and a lot of people are going to try to say, oh, it is. It is, but not for everyone. I'm talking as in a general whole of people. So, my little brother couldn't do something like that. He would maybe get a kill or two, but he wouldn't do much other than that. And you gotta remember, he's the youngest. I'm the oldest. Another prime example. If you're gonna use any LMG, but by default attachments, okay, I can understand it's not easy to get that leveled up, but you only camp in 2 corners. Specifically ones in spawns. Spawn camping is not a good player term. Spawn camping is for people who can't get normal kills without having to rely on being in their location. Of course, I will call you out on that BS, because that's not something I'll do. I'm a good person, I will do what I can to change your mind. But if you're not gonna change, it's not my problem at that point. So when someone calls you out, or something along that line, don't come crying to me when you say I need help. And again, I have a lot of friends, like especially nowadays on you know, all these different games that I play. But most important of my friends are like Little Bear. He's, you know, he's one of those same like emotional friends. He understands my process of thought, and a lot of people don't. They'll understand like I don't find myself to be human mainly due to how I act and to how I, you know, place myself and my strategic advantage on people. And those are fine. I'm fine with people not believing that because honestly, who would? Who believes that? But there are some people, again, my friends, who absolutely agree. The human race sucks. We aren't a part of it. Because we don't just look at a piece of information before anyone else and just go, "Oh yeah, no, that's 100% true," even though we have no actual knowledge of it. So it's kind of a mix of, you know, we understand how humans think, we understand how they are, we understand exactly why they do these kind of things. But it's not something we're gonna, you know, commend. We only commend the thought process. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's kind of what my ideal is I don't really get why people have to be so harsh to each other, but I'm not gonna question it because it's not my place. My place is just to worry about myself. Me being antisocial, that's a lot easier than people think. But that's kind of the problem. I only worry about myself. Why do I have friends to worry about then? Well, because I have well-respected my friends. You know, they respect me, I respect them. They are considered my best friends. So more often than not, I will always consider my best friends only my best friends. Nothing more, nothing less. Because they are nothing more, nothing less. They're my best friends. That's their place in my eyes. So if they have an opinion, I will well respect it, but I will not, you know, bow down to their wishes. Like, I have a friend who wants to be me, is what we've noticed. He tries to act like me. He tries to do stuff like me. My friends aren't having it, though. We all understand our place, so we're not gonna just go on a rampage on this guy, and he's not gonna try to be me. And we've already told him, like, hey, you can't do this. It's fine when he does it, specifically me, but it's not when you do it because you're not me. You're not him. And that's kind of how all of our relationship is. Like, we're fine with each other, you know, nudging and bossing us around if it's for good reason. So like I said, you know, I have a lot of, you know, friends on here. I have about 800 friends, but I only ever play with like 10 of them. Not even. Let's say I play with Little Bear, Nikki, Venom, McSploosh, sometimes Dweezy when he's on, sometimes Ethan. So yeah, around 10. It's about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, around there. But I don't just go around and talking smack. Like I'm decent. I'm not just gonna sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, no, you're absolute trash." Yeah, blah, blah, blah. The only reason I call you out if you're trash is if I'm literally standing still and you do a full-on outline of me. Of course I'm gonna call you trash then. Like, did you really just miss a guy standing still like that? 'Cause here's why that's so bad. You just missed a literal standing still person. You cannot be a good player and then immediately miss all of that. There's no way you could be a good player and do that all at the same time. Because not even, like, I've seen a lot of good players, and there are people with off days. So, of course, you know, I'll question, like, maybe they're just having an off day. But it shouldn't take too long to get out of that off day. For how many times I've played a game, like, even just today, I could be standing completely still, and the guy who's trying to kill me with like an AK-47 or something that has virtually no recoil misses me point blank whilst I'm standing still. And there are going to be some people who doubt that. I have plenty of physical copy proof of people doing that, and it is just sad. Not for me, but for that person. Because if I'm recording that kind of stuff, oh my dear God, what happens on the internet stays on the internet. So it's not just a predicament of this guy missed his shots, it's a this guy missed on shots while I'm live on YouTube, which will not be deleted unless I delete it or the people of YouTube delete it. Which isn't very common unless it's something severely offensive or they're told, you know, hey, this person did this or this. I'm not just gonna say that out of disrespect, but I'm just gonna say that out of like mutual, like, oh my dear God, how are you this bad? I'm sitting still. I don't just go, oh dude, you fucking suck, yada yada yada. I'm not gonna. No, I'm not that pathetic. I'm a good person. I'll just be like, dude, you really need to work on your aim, or you just need to hope that you can use a different gun, because I swear to God. And a lot of people, I understand if you like a certain weapon. Like for me, I'm using the 20mm a lot lately on Cold War because it's a fun gun. I've heard different opinions. For example, Merc Music. He gave an opinion on the gun. He didn't like it. He says it's too slow and everything else is just not great. Well, to be fair, not everybody's good with big guns, and I'm not saying that out of disrespect if Merc Music does end up, you know, coming across this video and thinks I'm insulting him. No, I mean this in the utmost respect. Maybe it's not the gun, maybe it's the fact that people using the gun aren't as good with it. And maybe just try to find something to your preference is what I do. I'm not a guy who goes, oh, I'll just use this gun and use it like everyone else. So when someone says the FFAR is good, or there's a very specific FFAR that I have to use on Warzone, of course I'm not going to use it the way that they told me. I'm going to make it my own, because the best way to improve anything about yourself in a game is to first get a gun you enjoy and get it to the proper attachments you want, not what other people want, but you can take suggestions. You can try these suggestions. So like I said, I have, let's see, my friend, for example, let's see, who's his friend? Ethan. Ethan. This guy, he's not great at everything, but he thinks I'm really good at some things. For example, zombies. He seems to think I'm really good at zombies, and that is true. I'm good at zombies, but I wouldn't call myself, like, God tier. I wouldn't call myself a professional, and he agrees. He wouldn't call me that either, because I do slip up, and I say, well, everyone slips up. He's understandably like, oh yeah, that's true. Never mind. But you are one of the best out of my friends list. Now, again, I highly doubt that. I'm not that good. Go to any of my videos, and that's kind of proven wrong, but you get the idea. I'm not just gonna go, oh yeah, no, I'm absolutely the best. You should absolutely 100% listen to me. I have 300 hours on this. In some cases, that's actually true. I do have 300 hours plus on something, but I'm not just gonna sit there and smack talk some new guy to the game. You know, I'm gonna be respectful, as we all should. Just let him try it. You know, be like, hey, if you would like a good gun, like for Little Bear, when he was first coming on, and I told him, hey, whenever you're trying to do the 20mm challenge, it's long shots. So my recommendation is use the Pellington, which is actually one of the lightest ammo weapons. Because you have to remember, that isn't a very big caliber. It's really not. But it is something you have to think about. You know, it's not what you think is going to be good. It's what they think is good. So, for example, a lot of people like mobility. I'll recommend, you know, small barrel, almost no stock if you can get that, or, you know, a good stock for ADS time. Good grips, and if you can, a mag. Or if you want a mag. So I've had friends who go, hey Jake, can you recommend me a good assault class, essentially? Like, they want full-on bum rush assault class. I'll go, okay, how do you intend to be? Do you intend to be close quarter or longer range? Like long to medium or medium to close? More often than not, they'll say medium to close. So I'm like, okay, I can conjure something up real quick. My recommendation is always a secondary as a shotgun or, you know, some really good SMG. But you notice I don't give a specific one. If I'm recommending, like, do you have a very specific recommendation for a shotgun or an SMG? Well, what ones do you have and which ones do you understand the best? Well, I understand lists off a couple, and for these classes, I know these specific ones, but I'll never just go, okay, use the Model 680 with Dragon's Breath or Slugs, you know, whatever you like most, and everything like that. And a lot of people are like that. Now, I'm the complete opposite. I don't much care for the Model 680. It is a good gun, but the AA-12 will always dominate it. Because the AA-12, of course, will have a bigger fire rate, but there's a reason I go for the AA-12 compared to like a Model 680. A Model 680, you can only have so many shotguns rounds, right? Well, with an AA-12, I only get a certain amount of shells, but I can go up to 32 round drum. Or is it a 32? I think it was a 32 round, if I was correct. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But that's the idea. I'm not trying to recommend something, you know, others will. I'm trying to recommend something everyone could possibly make in their own way. Like for the AA-12. I introduced one of my friends to the AA-12. And you would be surprised. He didn't believe it was good until I told him, alright, let me just show you in this match. And I did. I told him, here's my AA-12 by here's the AA-12 by default. And I showed him the range and everything. You couldn't hit more than 30 feet. And then I showed him what my AA-12 was, which I even used explosive and Dragon's Breath. So you got an idea on which one was going to be the best. Because those are the best rounds. I don't care for slugs. That's just a personal opinion of mine. Feel free to disagree. And a lot of people tend to think, you know, why use an explosive slug? Well, because that's scary to hear, a full auto explosive slug shotgun. Like, try to stay calm and also try to fight a person who literally has no care in the world and would probably just absolutely have no problem killing you like that. And that's something I do a lot. I try to cause fear, but also make sure it's efficient. And that's just a me thing. And it may not scare everybody, you know, Nikki. Very specific example, Nikki. But some guns are very intimidating. And if you know how to make them intimidating, it makes everything easier. It makes it a whole new world. So it's a predicament of, it's a personal opinion, not a personal figure. And I do try to help everyone be their best. You know, if someone's talking smack, hey, don't do that, that's disrespectful. Good players don't do that. And he says, but I hear good players all the time do that. And I'm like, well, then they're not good players. They're not sportsmanlike. And sportsmanship is the importance of any true pro. Like, if you want a good example, I've seen full-on championships from other people's videos where somebody gets really mad and everybody is shocked by it. But if, you know, anyone were to do that, there are some people where it's like, oh, that's to be expected from them. But some people aren't just like that, you know. Like, of course, there are fake people, but when they're in a public, when they look like a public figure, essentially, when they're treated as if they were a public figure, you tend to see them be a little different. Like, Ninja isn't a prime example. He went way downhill after, you know, some time. And it's not just something, you know, everyone's gonna forgive and forget. You know, there are times where he said some things that it's messed with him, and he has no more credibility for it. So it goes to show that the way you have to think is not the way people want you to be. The way you have to think is the way you want to be. What do you want to be seen as? Please excuse the controller abuse. And that's kind of where my example is right there. Like, I try to be polite, and if I do something that, you know, is definitely going to be considered obnoxious, I'm sorry, please ignore it. Just do so. You don't have to acknowledge it. That's your choice if you want to acknowledge it. And that's kind of how I think. You know, it's not a bad idea to have a personal opinion. It's just a bad idea to be a bad person with that opinion. So, to put it simply, just be a better person. trying to think. Let's do this one more layer. That's good storage up here. If you notice, I am going to be very quiet when I do these sometimes, and I'll mutter to myself. Ignore the mutters. I do it all the time. Just how my brain tends to keep track of things. And if you would like to question my standards here, please don't. Because I'm not going to acknowledge it any. Controller, stop. You gotta last until next month. If you guys are noticing I'm yelling at the controller, that's just my personality. Controller, you're pissing me off. By the way, we've cleaned this controller like 6 different times, so if you are going to recommend I clean my controller, firstly, we've done it a lot. We've even taken it apart and cleaned it. Doesn't work that way. But if you guys are wondering what I mean by next month, first things first, I'm getting a new controller next month on June 2nd. To be very specific, a PS4 Pro. If you guys are wondering why I'm getting a Pro, my dad, I guess, got it for a good price. So I didn't ask for it, but he got it for me, and I'm not going to complain. Which is nice. So I'll have a new controller by January or next month on the 2nd, because I can't remember what next month is. And this upcoming Wednesday, I'll be getting a new stand, which will also be able to charge my controller from the said stand. So it's like a PlayStation stand. God, I'm having a brain fart. I'm tired, though. It's 1:45, and I'm usually asleep until about 5 in the evening. So it's almost morning. I'm still streaming. It's been almost an hour, so I started this at about 12. So, yeah. So again, this was kind of a little Q&A. A couple more, preference topics. Just kind of explain, because I don't think I've ever done a channel introduction, so this kind of just explains my channel a little bit better, and kind of my points of views on this kind of situation, like, especially nowadays situations. And I guess one more thing I should address. I'm not a fat person, but I do eat a lot on stream, so if you would like to judge me for that, go ahead. I actually judge myself for it all the time. So I actually 100% agree I shouldn't be eating as much as I do, especially on stream, but I do it anyway. And I have no care. So if you guys don't really like that, I would recommend at some point you end up leaving or just stop watching my content, because I cannot help myself. I get very hungry, especially nowadays. Huh. Oh, hey, Joe. Huh, this actually looks really good. I'm proud of myself. Looks nice and clean. Still that wandering villager. You can leave, any time. And there's a polar bear. How am I? I'm okay. I'm excited for this upcoming Wednesday and next month on the 2nd, and thank you. So I did that while off camera. I did that off camera. I did a lot of this off camera, and I actually started with this side when it was completely finished. I have a farm over here, which is still a bit incomplete. And interior design, and that was legitly in survival. I might need to fix I might change the outer line here a little bit. I made this spiral staircase, which surprisingly turned out better than I thought it would. It's a pretty long staircase, but it looks really neat. I think Little Bear will like it. This is our secondary storage room. I'm gonna make another floor eventually. But right now, that's just kind of miniature work. Bruh. I seen your Discord invite. I deleted Discord. Don't use it anymore. So ignore it. God, my eyes hurt. Yeah. So anyway, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I want to add before I go do something else on Minecraft? Because I'm probably gonna go do servers. How come what? Like, why did I delete Discord, or how come I'm excited for the 2 dates I listed? This upcoming Wednesday and or the next month on the 2nd. Gotta be a little more specific. I prefer specific details. You know what? I'm gonna do something. Why did you delete the Discord? I wasn't really using it. None of my friends were really using it. I have no real reason to have it if no one else is gonna use it. So it was just kind of taking up space, and on top of that, I couldn't remember my login stuff, so I didn't feel like completely making a new Google account just to get a new Discord. Because I am terrible with remembering passwords and such. And honestly, it took me to one of my Discords, but it was one that I couldn't even use because it was like, oh yeah, no, you're at a completely different location. Literally, I went from Ellicott to Colorado again. So it was literally just a waste of space on my phone, so I didn't use it. But I still have Reddit and Messenger if people need that. But I won't give my Messenger because that's my real name stuff. But I will gladly give away my Reddit if people want to get a hold of me. Makes sense. Yeah. So I try not to keep my phone frickin' unnecessary stuff like that. If I'm not using it, it's not on my phone. I'm actually very happy. I think I need to change this to a grass, but I do like this flower. I had Discord since 2017, and I have no friends till 18, a whole year. Oy. Now, I actually kind of feel that one, but a different scenario entirely. For me, it was YouTube. The first, like, 2-3 years of my channel was absolute nothingness, and I got about 100 at 2018. Because I started about 2015, December 22nd. So I started 22nd of December 2017, and it's 2021. Now I'm always called 24/7 out of the day. When the Minutemen flare isn't enough. Now I understand that one. Anyway, but like I said, back in like 2015, I went from like maybe a couple viewers every here and there to absolute nothing at sometimes. But nowadays, it's like I'll get occasionally a couple views every here and there for something. You know, like a lot of times, Warzone and Cold War has been what I've been streaming a lot. Destiny, I've done a couple of those streams. I did a Payday one 2 weeks ago. I did some Far Cry, Sniper Elite, some Subnautica, which I don't have on my PS4 anymore. So this is the first Minecraft stream since, let's see, when was the last Minecraft stream I've done? The last Minecraft stream I did was 2 months ago, and it was a late night stream, which was shortly done after the forest. Like right now, I'm gonna call someone, and I'm like, Jesus, I don't get time by myself other than my SE. I feel that one. Well, I mean, technically I get time to myself, but that's gonna change as soon as I get some unsalted peanuts. And probably a small bag of dog food. And if you guys are gonna be curious, like, am I getting a dog or something? No, I'm not getting a dog. I'm not getting a dog. I will never get a dog. Well, I mean, I might get a dog, but not now. There's a different pet I have in mind. And I have listed it on my channel before. And a lot of people are probably going to think I'm crazy for it still. They definitely think I'm an emo. I've heard that actually a couple times now. Yeah, I don't have anything at the moment, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my room. I'm going to save my bed and make sure it's, you know, perfect. And then I'm going to go do some servers. Haven't done servers on the channel yet. Let's have it as a first. Cake War sound good, or do you want me to do Death Run? I would like a small vote here. So whenever you hear that, go ahead and type your answer. Death Run? Okay. Death Run it is, so let's see, the Hive. I am gonna have hella lag, but it doesn't matter, because people suck at Death Run. Also, I need to put on the special skin for this, and if you guys are gonna be curious as why is special skin, I do this every time. I know a lot of gamers hate furries. I have nothing against them. So out of funny, mutual, and just some way to disrespect other gamers in a subtle way, I tend to use a furry-based skin. So I have like a dog skin saved, and I have a what is it, Sly Cooper? I have a Sly Cooper skin that I use because that one actually has a very noticeable tail. So it's hilarious to just go into one of these and be like, alright, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and be a furry on the game just to really piss people off. And it's great. It sometimes works. I've never had any problems with people getting irritated about it, but I miss playing PS4. PS4. I have videos of me in parties with my old friends. Ah, now that I have plenty examples of that. I used to play with my dad on World War II, but we just kind of stopped playing World War II for a while. Um, which is, you know, of course, something I do. Um, I don't even have it downloaded anymore. I kind of need to get it back at some point or something. Why when I'm streaming for some reason Mineplex is a 48? I might have to do Mineplex because for some reason Hive will take too long. I used to play with my dad, but now I don't. I have played with my dad sometimes here, but well, actually, I haven't played with my dad since the last. Let's see, when I actually still used to play a lot of World War II and even Black Ops 3. Like when I was really into Black Ops 3, my dad and I actually used to play together, which someone's gonna say cringe, you play with your dad. No, it's actually fairly normal in my case. Um, it's just kind of something I've always, enjoyed. But servers, do you want to let me load in, or are you really gonna do that to me? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do servers. If I am not able to do servers, is there a specific game that I actually have on me, which I will state, that someone would like to watch me do? Warzone is up for grabs there. I might not play that much, but Minecraft is being poopy right now. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do servers, unfortunately. I don't... Internet over here is a little bit funky. So, digital games, I don't remember most of them except for Sniper Elite and Payday 2, but if you want disc games, I don't know how many of these are going to work, so I'm going to only list the one. I know BioShock doesn't work. Rainbow Six is just too laggy. Titanfall, that's a possibility. Minecraft, fed up with that one. So, disc-based games, Cold War, Red Dead Redemption 2, or, let me go to, you're going to get a blue screen here. Controller? Don't be a dick. Okay. Warzone, Payday 2 Crime Wave, Days Gone. I might be able to get For Honor on this. Zombie Army Dead War. I don't really want to play that right now. So if you are going to say that one, don't expect it to be a long stream. Sniper Elite is on there. Don't much play that anymore. That's pretty much all that I'm willing to do. So, if you need me to repeat, please say so, because I'm only going to repeat it once. And before I actually come back and stream on that, I'm literally just going to go grab something to snack on or to eat, because I'm hungry, and it's 1 in the morning, and the last time I ate something was about 10, 11, somewhere around there. Warzone sounds kind of cool. Okay. Alright, so Warzone it is. Is that final? Is that 100% what you want me to play? Just confirmation here. 100% my guy. All right. Then I'm gonna start loading on to Warzone. I'm gonna go grab something to snack on, and then I will start the stream as soon as I return. You're the best player I've seen play it. Don't do that, because that is 100% false. I've seen people much better than I am, except they usually drop shot. I'm the best player that you probably know, but I am not the best player you've ever seen. All right? All right. Then I will see you guys shortly. Thank you for joining me on this stream.